An intense debate has been going on the number of billions that America has been spending in the Iran war and has spent so far in this war. Multiple figures are being given by different sides, starting with a senior Pentagon official who earlier said that the cost of this Iran war is $25 billion. But now reports are emerging that the cost is nearly double, touching over $50 billion. However, according to Iran's foreign minister Sayed Abbas Araghchi, the cost is nearly 4 times, hitting $100 billion. He's also said that Americans are paying over $500 monthly to fund this war. With just 6 months to go for the U.S. midterm elections, Democrats are linking the Iran war cost with affordability. Oil prices have surged to the highest since 2022 to above $128 per barrel. U.S. gasoline prices have jumped to the highest in over 4 years to over $6 per gallon, from about $2 per gallon before the start of the war. Agricultural products such as fertilizers have seen a sharp surge as well, that is over and above the long list of other high consumer prices. As a result, President Trump's Republicans face an uphill task to keep their House majority in the November elections. The serving comptroller, Julius Hurst, testified before the House and said that the majority of the $25 billion was for munitions. The war cost is equal to the entire budget of NASA for this year. However, he did not clarify if the cost estimate included money for rebuilding and fixing base infrastructure in West Asia, which was destroyed in the war. In fact, in a fiery exchange with the lawmakers, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth justified the cost, saying that the war ensured that Iran will not have a nuclear weapon.
Congressman, you should know better. Shame on you. Calling this a quagmire 2 months in. The effort, what they've undertaken, what they've succeeded, the success on the battlefield that creates strategic opportunities, the courage of a president to confront a nuclear Iran, and you call it a quagmire, handing propaganda to our enemies? Shame on you for that statement. And statements like that are reckless to our troops. Don't say I support the troops on one hand, and then a 2-month mission is a quagmire. That's a false equivalation. Who are you cheering for here? Who are you pulling for? Our troops are doing incredible work. They've done incredible things for the entirety of this mission.
But some of the toughest questions on the Iran war came from Representative Rouhana, who focused on the economic cost of it.
It will cost Americans in terms of their increased cost in gas and food over the next year because of the Iran war?
I would simply ask you what the cost is of an Iranian nuclear bomb.
I'm going to give you that opportunity.
I would simply ask you what the... you're playing gotcha questions about domestic things. I'm not...
You're saying it's a gotcha question to ask what it's going to be in terms of the increased
Why
cost
won't you
of gas
answer what it
food?
costs to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear bomb?
I give you that, sir. But let me...
What would it cost? What would you pay to ensure Iran doesn't get a nuclear bomb?
Will you acknowledge that there is an economic cost to the American people for doing what you believe is necessary to make Iran denuclear? Will you acknowledge the economic cost?
We have an incredible economic team that's managing this better than
but
what the previous administration did to our economy, what the previous administration did with inflation, what the previous administration did with COVID, and you're going to lecture this administration about the economy?
You know what is upsetting?
Incredible.
Tensions flared on Capitol Hill as U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth faced back-to-back hearings before the House Senate Armed Services Committees. Remember, he was grilled by Democratic lawmakers over the escalating war in Iran, mounting costs and controversial remarks on military conduct. On the second day of the Senate Armed Services Committee hearing, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly had a heated face-off with Hegseth. After questioning him about the cost and the length of the time it will take to replace U.S. weapons expended during the war, he asked Hegseth to clarify the recent comments about giving the enemy no quarter.
My understanding that the definition of no quarter is that legitimate offers of surrender will be refused or that detainees will be executed. Is that your understanding of the definition?
The only entity that would kill detainees or target civilians is the Iranians, and they're the ones being crushed. So the Iranian military and their military capabilities.
The question is, though, Your quote was, "We will keep pushing, keep advancing, no quarter, no mercy for our enemies." Your response here, right now, makes it clear to the American people exactly why you are not right for this job.
In a fiery clash, Senator Elizabeth Warren challenged Hegseth on possible defense investments before the war in Iran. Pete Hegseth dismissed all of the allegations.
Did you, through your broker at Morgan Stanley or otherwise, seek to invest in any defense-related funds right before Trump started the Iran war?
I'll give it to you as a big, fat negative.